Hello CraftDee family, and welcome to another tutorial by She's So Crafty. For today's DIY projects, I'll be sharing some of my favorite nautical DIYs that you can recreate with all of these Dollar Tree supplies. Now, of course, I always include the full list in the description box below, as well as all of the helpful links. Now, to all of my amazing subscribers and visitors, I wanted to say, hey, and if you haven't subscribed yet, you definitely should, so you could be the first to see hundreds of fresh and original craft ideas on my channel. So, let's get started. Nautical items of your choice from the Dollar Tree. We need 36 of these tumbling tower blocks. We'll need a piece of foam board. And we'll also need a piece of craft paper and some scrap burlap or canvas. So I'm going to lay out my SureBonder silicone mat and my carpenter square from the Dollar Tree and grab some of those tumbling tower blocks. Now we are going to be creating the frames, and we're going to connect 3 pieces together in 12 sets. So what we want to do is glue these end to end. Make sure you wipe away any hot glue as you go, and you want to make sure you flip your blocks as you add them together to make sure they're nice and even. So here is one of the 3 block sets that we are making, and we're going to repeat this until we have 12 sets of 3. So we're going to grab 4 of the sets and we're going to lay them up on their side. Now we're going to be connecting these end to end. Just apply some of that hot glue to the corner and press it in there until it adheres. Flip the frame around and we're going to add another 3-piece set the same way. Once that adheres, flip it around one more time and then apply that last one into place. Now this will give you the perfect square, and these will be used as frames for our artwork. Now you want to repeat this for the remaining blocks until you have 3 square frames. Go ahead and set those to the side and grab your foam board now. Now I have this scrap piece left over from another project, but this will work perfect. I'm just sitting all 3 of my frames on there. I just want to make sure that they'll all fit for the cutout that I need, but I am going to use one as a template. So I'm just going to take my pencil and I want to trace the outline of that square 3 times on the foam board. Now once that is done, go ahead and lay down a cutting mat to protect your work surface and grab your X-Acto knife and a straight edge ruler. Now when I cut these out, I'm actually cutting them about 1/4 of an inch smaller than the actual square because I don't want this showing at the front of my frame. It'll kind of be nestled in the back, and that's the look we're going for. And here is one of those squares, and we just want to repeat this until we have all 3. So now set those to the side and grab your frames. We're going to be painting these with white chalk paint. Now I like to start painting my frames on the inside. I just find this easier. Go ahead and knock the inside out of the way, and then I'll follow up by painting the outside of the frame. Now once the inside and the outside are fully painted, I lay it down and then cover the front edge with the paint. And now just repeat this for your other 2 frames until all 3 are fully painted. Now don't forget, if you have a wood nautical wheel like I chose, go ahead and paint that white as well. And then let everything completely dry. Okay, so now we're going to grab that craft paper and our foam squares. Now I'm going to trace out that foam square onto the craft paper, and I'm just going to roughly cut it out larger than the square drawing. Now I want to do this 6 times on this piece of craft paper. So once I have my 6 rough cut squares, I'm just going to pin them together, and then I'm actually going to cut out the actual size on the line that I traced. So now we have our 6 pieces. I'm going to take one of those squares and I'm going to apply one of these squares to each side of our foam pieces. So I'm going to apply 1 square to each one of our foam pieces, only on one side at this time. Now once we have one side with that square piece on there, I'm going to grab that scrap burlap, or you can use like canvas from a Dollar Tree bag, and I am going to cut a piece out that's larger than my square by at least 1 inch on each side. Now once that's done, I'm going to first of all fold in the corners on each end with hot glue. Now I am using my Dollar Tree spatula. This definitely comes in handy and it'll save your fingers. Now when you glue these on, make sure that your craft paper side of your foam sheet is down and our burlap is on that side as well. So once we get those four corners glued into place, go ahead and fold in all of those edges as well. And we're going to secure all of those edges with hot glue on the back of the foam square. So to make sure that the back of it looks clean, grab another one of those squares of your craft paper, and we're going to apply that right over the back to hide all of those rough edges. And now both sides of our square are covered with burlap and the other side with our craft paper. Now we want to make sure we do this for the remaining two squares until all three are covered with our burlap. So by this time, your frames should be nice and dry with that white chalk paint. So I'm just checking the fit here to make sure everything looks good, and it does. So I'm flipping my frame over to the rough side, and I'm going to add a bead of hot glue along the edge. Now once that hot glue is in place, I'm going to add the burlap side down on top of the glue on the back of the frame and make sure it's nestled into place, and now we have one of our framed squares. So now that all three of our frame squares are done, what I'm going to do is I'm first going to add a hang tie. Now I just have a piece of jute twine that I tied knots on each end, and this is what I use to hang a lot of my lightweight projects, and I find that it works perfectly. Now we're going to do this on the back of each one of our frames for our project. And once that dries, let's flip them back over, and now we can add our nautical decor. So I'm going to add a starfish and a sand dollar and my nautical wheel to the center of each one of those frames. And we're going to adhere this simply with some hot glue in the very center. You just want to make sure that you place it evenly, because once you place it on that burlap, it's going to grab right onto it and it isn't going anywhere. So once these all dry, you can have them and put them on display. And so here are my 3 framed nautical art pieces that you can add to your collection. Now I love the organic look of these pieces and how refreshing they are in their simplicity. And so now you can hang or even stack these, which is great too. Now there are so many nautical themed items you can display in these, and you can choose whatever you like. Now I think these make an awesome display for only a few dollars in supplies. Now for this project, we'll be using these cardboard lids from Dollar Tree containers left over from our previous project. We'll also be using 1 to 2 packs of these jumbo craft sticks that were 98 cents from Lowe's, and also some nautical rope. Now we're going to start by painting the inside and outside edges of the lids black. Now I'll be using this black acrylic paint I got from the Dollar Tree. Now this crafter square paint really covers well, so we'll only need 1 coat. And we want to repeat this for the second lid and sit them to the side to dry. Now for the glittery edge of the lid, I'm going to cover it with Mod Podge to prevent any glitter shedding. And once those are dry, we can work with our craft sticks. So we're going to go ahead and remove them from the package, and we're going to measure and mark and cut off one of the rounded ends. Now these can be cut off with a pair of heavy-duty scissors. Now once that first one is cut, you could use it to align that stick and copy the line to the other sticks that you'll need. Now once all of the sticks that you need are cut off, you want to cut off the other end as well the same way. And now your lid should be dry, so we can start to apply those craft sticks. But first, we're going to cover the bottom with a clean finish. So I'm going to use this piece of black craft foam to do this, but you can use poster board felt or you can paint it. And I'm just going to apply hot glue to the bottom, and then I'm going to press it on to that foam sheet. And when those are dry, we could just lay down our cutting mat and cut them out with an X-Acto knife. And now we can start to apply our craft sticks. So to do this, we're just going to apply hot glue to the edge of that lid and press the craft stick in place. Now we just want to make sure the bottom of that craft stick is even with the bottom of the lid. Now once the sticks are all applied all around the lid, I'm going to take a strip of that craft foam and I'm going to apply it around the inside of this vase, a few inches down from the top edge, just using hot glue. And this will create some stability for that top edge of the vase. And here is what it should look like when it's all applied. And we're just going to complete this process for the second vase when we are done. So now we are ready to stain these. So I'm going to protect my work surface and gather up my supplies. Now I will be using this Jacobian stain by Minwax for this project. And we're just going to start applying a coat of that stain with our rag. Now we also want to stain the top few inches on the inside as well, because this may show when you put your florals inside. And then repeat this for your second vase. Now once these are all dry, you can embellish them with rope. So I'm just going to take some nautical rope, and all I'm going to do is I want to tie it around the center of the vase, and I want to make a double knot in the middle. And once that knot is made, just go ahead and trim the tails even if needed. And then all you have to do is place a small dot of hot glue on each tail to hold this knot into place. And once you complete it with the second vase, you can fill them with the greenery of your choice. And here is the completed project. I just added some greenery and I absolutely love this look. Now these 97-cent boxwood greens that I purchased from Walmart are perfect in these vases, and I love how they coordinate with that rich wood of the vase. Now you can even interchange these with the seasons, just change up your filler. Two short glass vases from the Dollar Tree. We'll need 2 glass tea light holders, which are sold in 4-packs from the Dollar Tree. We'll also need 2 candles from the Dollar Tree. We'll get an assortment of seashells from the Dollar Tree as well. And then some nautical rope. Now what you want to do is to take your 2 vases, flip them upside down, and then you want to take your 2 tea light holders and you want to apply them to the bottom. Now I only want this to be semi-permanent, but be sure to use E6000 if you want this to be a permanent bond. So just apply the glues of your choice to the bottom of that tea light holder and press it to the bottom of the vases. Now once that dries, take your nautical rope and you want to start applying the rope around the tea light holder by wrapping it around until it's covered completely. And then you want to do this for both of your vases. So now that they're complete, you can go ahead and start adding your shells. So I'm going to start by adding some of the small shells to the bottom and around those candles first. And then I'm going to add a few of those larger shells around the candle as well near the top. And then you are complete. How easy was that? Now I finally added a twine bow to the front and these are ready for display. How adorable are these? Now this super simple and really easy DIY captures that nautical theme with all those natural elements, and I think these are super cute and can be made in so many ways. I really hope that you all are enjoying these crafts so far, but I wanted to pop in really quick and let you all know that you could follow me on all of these platforms as CraftDee. So now let's jump right into that next DIY. I need one nautical wheel from the Dollar Tree. We're going to need 2 of these canvas signs from the Dollar Tree. And we're going to need a pack of these large craft sticks from Lowe's, and these were 98 cents. So we're going to just lay out our cutting mat and grab our wood nautical wheel and remove all of our tags. Now what we're going to do is we're going to split this wheel right down the middle. So I'm just going to take my ruler and grab my X-Acto knife. And what I want to do is I actually want to score it just a few times down the center. Now once we do have a nice deep scoring line, it should be able to be snapped right apart to 2 equal sections. So now that we have our 2 sides, we are going to be painting these, and I'm going to use a combination of 2 different blues to get the perfect blue that I would like for my nautical wheels. Now keep on the lookout, these paints are discounted at Walmart for 30 cents and I was lucky to pick these 2 up. So I'm just going to mix and blend the colors until I find a color that I really like, and then I'm just going to apply 1 coat of this paint to one side of the nautical wheel, and I'm going to do this for both of those. And now that our nautical wheels are all painted, I'm just going to make sure I set these to the side to completely dry. So while those dry, I'm going to grab my 2 signs. Now I'm just going to be removing the canvas from my signs, and I'm just using a small jeweler's screwdriver to pop out those staples. Now I've seen people cut these off with X-Acto knives and scissors, and I'm just using my combination of my jeweler's screwdriver and my wire clippers to clip off the nails. I kind of want to keep the canvas intact because I will be using this later in the project. So once all of the staples are removed, we have a 1 canvas all done. And then I'm just going to go ahead and remove any tags on the inside as well. So now we have the frame, and what we're going to do is we are going to take those craft sticks that we got from Lowe's for 98 cents, and we're going to be using these to cover our frame. Now I want to mark the center of them, and these are about 8 inches, so I'm going to mark them at the 4-inch mark, and then I'm going to cut them equally in half. Now 1/2 of these should be able to fit across the entire frame, and we're just going to mark a bunch of them, and then we are going to actually cut all of these in half, so we'll have some to work with for our project. Now you always want to cut more than you need because sometimes these sticks can be misshapen. So what we're going to do is we're going to lay a stick across the top of the frame, and then we're going to mark any overlap and trim that off with your scissors. Now once you get the right perfect fit, just apply some wood stick hot glue on each end and then press it into place, and you want to do this all the way down the length of that frame. So here is one of the frames all covered in the sticks, and it really does look like wood tiles. I like how that looks, and we just want to repeat this for our other frame until both of them are fully covered. So now I wanted to stain the wood, and I'm using a lighter stain called Shaker Pine. I really wanted this to have a light and airy look, so I didn't want to go too dark with the stain. So I'm going to apply this Shaker Pine only on the wood portion of the frames, and you want to do this for both of the wood pieces on those frames. Now here's the pieces all stained, and you want to let these sit to completely dry. So while those dry, we're going to grab the nautical wheels, which should already be dry. So I'm going to grab some of this jute twine that I had on hand, and I'm just going to wrap it around my nautical wheel handles a few times, and then I'm going to hot glue those ends in the back. Now this is completely optional. I just thought it gives it a nice little look going along with the nautical theme. You're just going to hot glue that in the back, and we're going to repeat this for all of the handles on the top of the frame. Now once both of them are all done, this is what they will look like. So now that our shelves are nice and dry, I am going to paint that trim with this white chalk paint. Now, sometimes you can go ahead and paint the frame first and then add the wood sticks, but I did not want that stain to get on the white portion. So I'm just being really careful applying my paint just around the base, but you can do it in whatever order you feel comfortable. Now I am going to apply 1 to 2 coats of this white chalk paint around the edge, and I'm only going to do the sides and the front. There's no need to do the back for this project. And once all of the paint is applied, you want to make sure that this sits to completely dry. So now we're going to take those canvas pieces that I talked about earlier, and what we're going to do is cut out the front portion of the canvas. Now you'll see the fold lines, and we're just going to cut it on the original fold lines. Now what we're going to be using this for is we're going to be covering up the back of our shelves, or actually the bottom of our shelves, so we don't see all of our work on the inside. You guys know that I love to finish off my projects, and I didn't want that open area in the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take those cutout canvases and I'm going to flip them with the art side facing in, and I'm just going to hot glue those around the edge of the frame. Now if you did cut them on the natural fold lines, they will be a perfect fit for this opening. I'm just starting by adhering one side first on the far end to make sure it's even, and then applying hot glue down the remainder of the frame and pressing that piece right into place. Now if you wanted to keep the artwork for another project, you can certainly use some craft paper or some other item to cover the bottom if you like. And here are both of my shelves with the bottoms covered, and everything looks nice and neat. So now we can grab our nautical wheels, and we're going to apply one to the back of each one of those shelves. I'm just going to align it with the way that I think it looks good like this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to apply some hot glue along the back top edge of that frame, and then I'm going to take that halved nautical wheel and press it right into that hot glue. Now for extra security, I am going to add a few of the staples from my staple gun along the bottom edge, just to make sure that that wheel is nice and secure into place. And then we're going to repeat this for the other shelf until both of them are done. Now you guys know I love to finish off the back of my projects as well. So I am taking some craft paper, and what I'm doing is I am tracing the outline of that nautical wheel and shelf piece all together, including the wheel openings, onto a piece of craft paper. Now I'm just going to go ahead and roughly cut this out at first, and then when I start to actually cut the wheel portion off, I am cutting inside my tracing because I don't want this to be showing through to the front side of my project. Now you also want to cut inside the lines on the wheel cutouts as well. Now here is the cutout, and now you'll see that it fits on the back of the project very easily, and we're just going to hot glue those wheel parts, the steering wheel handles in place first, making sure that everything is in alignment, and then adding hot glue to the remainder of the wheel, and you'll see that it covers everything nice and neat and gives it a nice clean finish. And now just do this for your second shelf. Now in order to hang these, I am just going to use some sawtooth picture hangers. Now these are available at the Dollar Tree or any hardware store, and I'm just going to hammer these into the back of my shelves. You certainly can use the jute twine and hot glue that in place as well. It's all up to you, and you can also apply hangers to the actual wheel of itself for more stability. So once one is applied, you can just go ahead and add one to the other side and then do the other shelf. And here are my two shelves hung up and decorated, and I think that these turned out so great. Now I'm really loving the contrast of that beautiful stained wood and white trim in these pieces. And you can decorate these in so many ways and even customize the nautical colors too. Now even though I have displayed these as single shelves, I have another option that you can update this design. Now here is a self-standing shelf version. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take those two shelves, and in order to make them a self-standing version, I'm going to need support. So I decided to use these 10-gallon paint stir sticks that I got from Lowe's for 98 cents. Now what I'm going to do is cut these down to 9 inches. Now I just sawed through the whole pack, but you can just remove the 6 pieces that we will need for this project. So how I'm going to apply these is I'm going to apply 3 sticks on each side of my shelves for supports. Now before I apply them, what I want to do is I want to go ahead and apply 2 coats of some white chalk paint to each one of those paint stir sticks. Now you do want to make sure you cover up all the number markings and things like that, and make sure they don't show through in your final paint job. So here are my paint sticks, all nice and dry, so we can start to apply them to the frame. So I'm sitting the bottom frame on its side, and I'm going to apply hot glue to the bottom corner. Now you do want to start by adding one of the paint stir sticks nice and even with one corner, and then the second one should go in the opposite corner. Just make sure that they're nice and straight with that corner. Now the final paint stick will be added down the middle, and this is going to be centered between the 2 sticks, so that's why you want to add that one last to make sure it has the perfect placement. So now I'm taking the top shelf, and we're just going to be adhering those top sides of those paint stir sticks to the shelf. So go ahead and apply some hot glue to the top sides, insides of those paint sticks, and apply it to the top level shelf. You just want to make sure that they're pressed firmly into place. So now that one side of the shelf is done, go ahead and grab your other 3 paint sticks and do the same thing on the other side with hot gluing them in place. So now if you want to display some really lightweight items, this would be perfect to display those things. But you know, I am a little bit extra and I love to have my things super secure. So I am going to use some nails for this project, and I'm only going to use some 3/4 inch brad nails that I can just simply hammer in. Now you can get this size from the Dollar Tree as well. So I like to use my pliers to hold them into place and then hammer them in. It's really easy to do and with little or no effort, and plus it gives you peace of mind for security. Now you do want to do this at the top and bottom of each side of the shelf, and now that that's all done, you are ready to display. And here you have it, a complete self-standing shelf that you can hang or you can use on a tabletop. Now this version is so versatile and will allow more weight to be added to the shelves. And those side pieces are super secure, so you'll have no worries about it lasting, especially if you give it as a gift. Now don't forget to check out the Dollar Tree to find out all of these accessories that are available to decorate all of your shelves. You guys have to let me know what you think about this project in the comments below. Now for this project, we'll need some nautical rope. We'll need a pack of these 98-cent paint sticks and this wood anchor from the Dollar Tree. And the first thing that we're going to do is remove those paint sticks from the package. Now I'm going to cut off 1 inch on 2 sticks for this project. And then we're going to go ahead and lay out the sticks with the printed side facing you. We're going to lay out 8 of those. And then for this, I'm going to use wood glue to adhere them. So I want to apply it to the 2 short sticks. And then we're going to place one of those sticks at both ends of your stacked up wood sticks. Now I'm just going to slide this assembly onto a mat so I can make this portable, but make sure you do this before you start gluing. And then we want to set it to the side to dry. Now once that dries, we can go ahead and stain. So I'm just going to use that same Jacobian stain and apply it to my paint sticks. Now you want to make sure that you cover all of those edges as well. Now once that dries, we can go ahead and we could start painting our anchor. Now I'll be using this black acrylic paint and this white acrylic paint for this painting. So I'm going to add some black and white to the tray, and I want to blend them together to make a gray color. And then once you get the gray that you want to apply this all over your anchor. Now once your anchor is completed and has started to dry, you want to go ahead and take some more of that black acrylic and you want to dry brush it on lightly to give it some dimension. Now once the anchor is dry, you want to take your stained board and your nautical rope to add to it. Now what you want to do is you want to take that piece of nautical rope and you want to wrap it around your anchor. Now you could do this any way that you like. Now once it's in place like you like it, just go ahead and hot glue it into place on the back. And then you're going to sit it on your board for a test fit, and then you can do any adjustments and cut off any excess for your final fit. And once everything is glued into place, we can just go ahead and test it out, make sure it looks good. And then flip that anchor over, and what we're going to do is we're going to apply hot glue to the rope, and we're going to finally adhere it to the center of our board. Now to hang this, we're going to add a piece of nautical rope to the back. We're just going to cut a piece to our liking, and then we're going to apply hot glue on each corner and press the rope into place. Now looking at my anchor, I noticed it didn't pop as much as I would like, so I took some white acrylic paint and I dry brushed it on around the edges of my anchor. And there we go, looks so much better. And now I have put it on display and it is all done. Now I really love how this anchor stands out against this rich wood background, and I think that dry brushing really did the trick. I think that this turned out so nice, and it would make an awesome addition in your home's nautical decor. From the Dollar Tree, and we'll need one nautical rope of your choice from the Dollar Tree. So I'm going to grab one of the nautical sign, and I'm going to go ahead and remove the hang tags. Now I think these signs are fantastic the way they look. Dollar Tree really did a great job stepping up their game and design, and I really love it. So all I'm going to do is just amp it up just a little bit by taking some of that thick cotton nautical rope, and I want to go around my entire sign with it. So I'm adding a bead of that hot glue starting at the bottom, a little off center, and then I'm going to go all the way around. Now I found for the best look of this is to pull your rope very tight, so you have a nice straight line all the way around your sign. So once you meet back up in the middle of the bottom, just go ahead and trim off one of the ropes, add some hot glue to the very end, and you want to make sure it's as flat as you can get it. Now you can use the assistance of your spatula or whatever you need to make sure that that is nice and snug into place. Now you can cut the other end, add some hot glue to that, and then you want to make sure that that's nice and even as well. Now it doesn't have to be perfect because we will be covering this up. So I'm going to take the remainder of the rope that we cut out, and I first want to tie one knot in one of the ends. So now I'm going to kind of loop it around, and I want to form like a nautical type of knot. Just wrap it around in a loop and roll it over, and this is what it looks like. It actually took me a few tries before I made the video, but it's actually really simple once you get the hang of it. So what I did is I actually formed the knot that I wanted to have, cut the end off, and tied another knot at the other end. Now you just want to make sure your ends are nice and even, and pull those knots really tight so they don't unravel. So once your knot looks okay, go ahead and trim off the excess from each end of the hanging end of the knot, and then shape your knot how you want it to look on your sign. So then apply some hot glue to the bottom of your sign, and then press your knot right on top of it, right in the center. And that's it. I love how this looks. So we're going to flip it over, and for that last little bit of nautical rope that's left over, I'm just going to add hot glue on each end, and I'm going to make a hanger for the back. Now I love how this looks already, but you can definitely amp it up if you like to. Now if you wanted to go more beachy, you can add some seashells from the Dollar Tree. I'm just going to take one of these shells, and I just want to add one into each corner. I really want to keep this simple just to keep the sign looking awesome like it does. So I'm just going to add one of the shells in each corner. Now, if you wanted to amp it up a little more, you certainly can add more shells, especially around the little starfish in the middle. It's completely up to you. But once you are done, you are ready to place this on display. And that is it. I just wanted a simple update to this already fantastic sign, and I love it. Now, like I mentioned, Dollar Tree has really stepped up their game with this collection. I was so happy to get my hands on a few of these pieces and share these simple DIYs with you. Now, as you can see, I didn't need to do too much to make this look even greater. Now, I had so much fun with all of these projects today. You guys have to let me know in the comments which one was your favorite. Listen, I hope that you all were inspired by these creations and will give these projects a try. If you love DIYs on a budget, please give this video a thumbs up and share this video with your friends. Make sure that you're following She's So CraftDee on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Pinterest for the latest news, sneak peeks, and giveaways. Now also be sure to subscribe by clicking the link She's So Crafty logo on your screen and hit the bell to be notified when the next DIY goes live. It doesn't cost a thing. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.